All right, people should be coming into the room.
All right. How many folks we've got so far, Amber?
We're up to 113. So if you want to go ahead and start
Great.
rolling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how to actually see it. Oh, there it is. Well, hello everybody. Welcome. We want to say on behalf of all of us here at CWCT, we're really excited that you chose us and that you're part of this program. Um, Here with us tonight, you're going to see a lot of your classmates here, as well as a lot of our faculty and staff members like myself. For those that do not know me, which some of you may from maybe when you were applying or seen my name somewhere, my name is Steve Olson. I've been with the program since it started a few years ago. I work full time as a system administrator at UNC Charlotte, one of the participating universities in this consortium, and I work part time on this program as it relates to career readiness and recruitment and stuff like that. I'm joined with a couple of my other staff members I will introduce in a moment. But I want to take a quick second to say not only welcome, but just to show you this screen really quickly. I know you all know what this program is in a gist because you've applied to it or you've talked to one of us or you've read the website. You are here to get credentials to learn more about cybersecurity, either break into the field, upskill in your current position, or maybe you're still transitioning out of the military. Um, but a consortium like this may be new to you all. So, and you probably noticed you might have gone to the Purdue website and then you're applying at Ivy Tech's website. You're always in the right spot, but we're actually a program funded by the federal government, but we are 4 different universities that make up what we call this federal consortium. We're a pilot program, or at least we were at one point. Now our program is pretty solidified now that we've had thousands of students go through it. But UNC Charlotte, University of Tennessee Chattanooga, Purdue University Northwest. Purdue is actually the main university in charge of this grant program, and then we have Ivy Tech Community College, which you definitely know because that system is where you'll be doing a lot. And later tonight, you're going to be hearing a lot about your My Ivy account and all that. For those you can think back to, if you went and got your undergrad years ago, there's all those systems. We've tried to consolidate all of that, but Ivy Tech's a phenomenal partner that helps us with the application and all those other systems that you use to access your coursework. So a little bit boring, but I do think that the idea of a consortium is a little bit convoluted if you haven't known it before, just so you all know exactly what this program is. But anything related to that is all CWCT, that big logo at the front. So I'm going to take you through real briefly the schedule for the evening. Again, you know me, Steve, I'm a talking head, but I also really like to be able to introduce things like this because I was in the Army and I also transitioned into not only the workforce, but IT. I didn't even study it in my undergrad. So I had kind of my own journey as someone who served, but also somebody who really likes the field of IT. So me and our other staff members, we have a lot of military, we have mil spouses. We are here to encourage you all. This program is completely funded. You don't pay to do this program. We're here because we like to offer this and we'd like to see you all succeed. So I kind of say that so that you get a little bit excited and you feel comfortable reaching out to us, but also this orientation you really need to pay attention to. So I've been to many classes where it's time for the syllabus to be talked about and I'm droning off, but the information in tonight's thing, we will record this, but I would definitely pay attention and to make sure that you're going to be set up for success. So once I'm done talking, Christy's going to give a general overview of the program, our 3 tracks. We've got a lot of policies that are important to make sure that you're doing your work, to make sure that you're keeping up with your class time. If you're not making live lectures, you're watching the recordings because this program is synchronous and asynchronous, which is cool. You got live instructors, but we have a lot of police, law enforcement, full-time workers, moms, deployed folks. So we've tried to be flexible there. You're going to meet all of the faculty, or at least the vast majority of them that are present tonight. They're going to go on camera and introduce themselves and talk about the classes they do. I highly encourage you, even if you're here and you listen to everything, to go back and watch the recording at 4:55 when Chrissy talks about Ivy Learn and My Ivy. I'm also going to link in the chat. There's a separate video that goes through how to set up your MyIV account if you have any issues with that. I'm going to link that there, but that is where you're going to get all your information about your classes and accessing your Zoom, your lecture, all of that stuff. So make sure you're really paying attention with Chrissy's talk. And our PIs, and for those not familiar with grant kind of like non-degree certificate programs like we are, PIs are principal investigators. These are faculty that are kind of overseeing the program. And each of them kind of has their own track of our 3 tracks between forensics, digital forensics, systems administration, and AI. And they're going to just kind of talk a little bit about their expertise, how they've structured the curriculum, and go on from there. You'll hear me talk at the very end a little bit about some of the career readiness programming that we offer. My second link, I'm actually going to share 3 links when I'm done talking. One's my LinkedIn. I encourage all students to connect with me. I love to do everything I can to help you all be successful. Second is going to be a video about MyIV. Make sure you're good on access with that. And I'm also going to link our YouTube channel so you can check out all the fireside chats, career readiness events, our LinkedIn Rock Your Profile workshops that we've done over the last few years. So you all can just take a look at those and check them out. And lastly, Amber will wrap us up and we'll be done for the evening. So this is 2 hours. This is a longer orientation. Our program is unique. And that's the reason why we have so much information, but we used to have more, I don't want to call it fun, but I used to get more time to do other stuff. And we actually struggle to get all the information in this 2-hour period. So do know it's important, but again, I just want to say my heartfelt thanks for considering this program. We appreciate you being here. We hope you're successful in it, whether you're breaking into cyber, you're transitioning, or looking for secondary employment, or upskilling in your current job. You could tell I've said that a lot of times. It's not scripted, but we really do want you to be better in whatever way that means as you do this program. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Chrissy. And again, thank you so much. And check out the Zoom chat because I'm going to drop a few links in there. Welcome to CWCT.
Thanks, Steve. I'll need you to stop sharing your screen so I can share mine. While he's doing that, I am Chrissy Duncan. You all have received many emails from me. So now you can finally put a face with a name. Let me... All right. Can you see my screen all right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So a couple things. As Steve mentioned, this will be recorded and it will be sent out sometime next week. I do know I talk a little fast. It is because I have a lot of information to do in a short period of time. So you can always go back and watch it once you have received it. If you have any questions, just put those in the chat. More than likely, they will be answered either during my part, in a future part, or they can be answered in the chat. So without further ado, this part is just about the program. Even though all of this information is on our website, has already been shared with you, many of you may still have questions about the program and what to expect. So first of all, this program is a cybersecurity workforce training program, but it is split up into 3 different training paths. When you applied and were admitted, you chose one of those training paths, either a focus in artificial intelligence, a focus in digital forensics, or a focus in system administration. Later on, that is when the PIs will discuss each individual track and what to expect. Okay. Each track is made up of 6 non-credit college level courses. So even though they are non-credit courses, they are still at college level, okay? Which is why we had you all take those assessments that we had you take, the English, the math, and the IT assessment. And I see there's something, this says dependent on program extension. That is from our old orientation that I need to take out. Ignore that right now. Right now, this program is not slated to end until 2025. So as long as you all are doing what you need to do, you should not have to worry about that. So the courses are offered through live virtual lectures. So hopefully all of you have done your registration. If you've done your registration, you would have received your confirmation. If you just did your registration last night or today, I have not processed it yet. Those should be to you by Monday. If you have not done your registration, that registration email went to your Ivy Tech email, and that needs to be done as soon as possible because many of our classes are already full, actually. But with these live virtual lectures, it's 6 hours per week. So it's a Monday, Wednesday for 3 hours each, or a Tuesday, Thursday for 3 hours each. At a certain time, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central. Remember that, it's in Central Time. However, we know with military, people working shift work because you're law enforcement or a first responder, many of you are working adults, that you might not be able to attend the live lectures. While we highly encourage it, that's okay if you cannot. They are recorded for those who cannot attend live. This program is 100% virtual. We do not have any in-person offerings. Each session is 8 weeks long, and you take 1 to 2 courses per session. Most of the time when students are just starting out, they only do, try to do 2 courses, and then they find out that it's too much of a time commitment. And I would say about 75% of our returning students only do 1 course at a time because of the time commitment that these courses take. And I'm going to talk about the time commitment here on a future slide. But it's 8-week sessions, 1 to 2 courses per session. And then typically there's a 2-week break. The only outlier for that is the December, January, there's a longer holiday break in there. So most of the time you've got 2 weeks and then you start right back up. Each course may lead to an industry recognized certification. So these are your CompTIA A+, Security Plus, Cisco CyberOps, those kinds of things. Not every course that you take of the 6 will have a certification. Most of them will. Typically, you can earn 4 to 5. There are 4 to 5 certifications that are trained on with your classes. Now, this is a bit of a change from when we first started. At this point, we will guarantee 1 certification voucher per student, pardon me, with the ability to request 2 additional vouchers for a total of 3 if there is funding available. So you're guaranteed 1 voucher. If there's still funding, you could possibly get up to 2 additional vouchers for a total of 3. When we first started, there was more funding and we were able to give 3. We cannot guarantee all 3 now, but you do get 1 guaranteed voucher. Once you have completed all 6 of your courses, sorry, you will get a certificate of completion once you've finished all 6, and that will become from the consortium institutions as well as the National Centers of Academic Excellence. Okay, so as I mentioned, you were admitted under 1 track. You must complete all 6 courses within your track as established by our curriculum. Okay, it never fails. We get students wanting to take a class from this track and a class from this track and a class from this track. It doesn't work that way. You're in the system admin track, you have to do the 6 courses from the system admin track. There's no picking and choosing which courses you want or do not want to take. You must follow the established prerequisites. So you have to have A+ before you can have Cisco CyberOps. You have to have A+ before you can have Security Plus. That's our curriculum. That's the way it is. Now, if you already have some of these certifications, Security Plus is the most popular one that many of you already have. You may be provided a waiver if you already have that associated certification. When it comes time for you to take that class, you will be notified that you've been given the waiver and you'll be given your registration options based on that waiver. You don't have to do anything for the waiver as long as we have your certification on file, which you should have uploaded with your application. If you did not, if we do not have that certification, we will reach out and ask you for it. Okay. So you don't need to do anything for waivers. We'll let you know when that time comes. You do get, now we know life happens. You get deployed, you have other military obligations, you have work obligations, family obligations, time commitment, things happen, we know. We do give you 3 attempts to complete each course in your track of study. Once you've hit three attempts and you have not passed the class, you're dropped from the program. We have to allow then for other people a chance to take this program. Okay. Now, please listen to this next part carefully because it never fails. Somebody's going to ask about it. Okay. Especially for those getting waivers. So first of all, if you get a waiver, you have Sec Plus, you get a waiver for the Sec Plus class. You do not need to take an alternative course for it. It just means you have one less course to take. Okay. Now, people always ask, can I take classes from other tracks? The answer is maybe. You might be able to take courses outside of your track of study if there is room available after all those who need it first are registered. We can never guarantee that additional classes will be able to be given. For example, a lot of people want to take Python. Our Python class is full for this session. We can't offer it as an additional class for people, okay? If you are ever eligible to request additional courses, you will be notified of this during your registration period, okay? So you do not need to tell us right now you're eventually interested in this. That will come during the registration time, and there will be very specific instructions on what you need to do to request additional courses, okay? So as I mentioned, there are the 3 training paths, the AI, the digital forensics, and system admin. You chose one. And again, if space remains in courses outside of your chosen path, you may be able to take additional courses if there is room available. Now, let's say you are able to take additional classes. Okay, we will cover the cost of the classes, but we will not cover the cost of any additional certifications. Okay, again, you get the 1 guaranteed and possibly another 2. You get 3 at the most. Okay, any additional certifications you will be responsible for paying. Okay, we cannot guarantee space in additional courses or even the completion of additional tracks of study. That's another question. When I finish system admin, can I move on to digital forensics? No. You get 1 track of study. Now, could it be a possibility that you are able to take the additional courses within the digital forensics track? Maybe if there's room, and yes, you could possibly get additional tracks, but again, no additional classes and no additional tracks are ever guaranteed. Okay, participation. This is really, really important. Okay, these are not self-paced classes. Okay, they are 8 weeks. You will have assignments due every week. Okay, participation is required to remain enrolled in this program. Okay, participation is demonstrated by completing your work each week. Okay, your quizzes, your labs, your homework, whatever your assignments may be for that week, you need to be completing them. This does not mean it is now week 6. Oh yeah, I'm going to start working on my work. That's not the way this works. Okay, you need to be doing stuff every week. These are not self-paced classes. Okay, if your assignments cannot be submitted each week, you need to discuss late submission with your instructor. There are some instructors that do not accept late work, some that will accept it if you talk to them, but you need to be talking to your instructors if you're going to be submitting things late and what the extenuating circumstances are for that. We will check participation every 2 weeks, okay, give or take. If you are not doing your assignments, during that period, you could be removed from the course for not completing your work. So if we're checking in week 3 and you have not done anything for the first 2 weeks, we are going to give you a call, see what's going on. If you still don't submit anything, you're dropped from the class. That counts as one of your attempts, one of your 3 attempts. Okay. So you could be removed from the course. Make certain you're either attending the live Zoom lecture or watching the recordings, okay? If you cannot attend the live lectures, make sure you let your instructors know, just so that they know you're still interested in the class, you're still going to be doing the work, that kind of thing. Be mindful, I already mentioned this, be mindful of the time commitment for this program. I already mentioned there are 6 hours of lecture time each week, but that's just the lecture time. That does not include your homework lab time, okay? Estimating, and this is going to vary student to student, there could be a potential of 12 hours or more a week of homework for one course. So if you are taking 2 courses, that's 24 hours for the homework plus your 6 for your class. That's 30 hours. It's a full-time job if you're taking 2 classes. The number one reason why students drop a class is due to the time commitment. They can't handle 2 classes. It is okay for you to just take 1 class. It may take you a little longer to do, but if it's going to set you up to be more successful, please consider it, okay? It's important not to overcommit yourself and take more classes than you can manage, okay? And as I already mentioned, there is not a requirement to take 2 courses. If you can only take 1, if you can't commit to 2, take 1. If this scared you a little bit, you registered for 2, just send me an email telling me you want to drop down to 1 class, cduncan63@ivytech.edu. If A+ is one of your courses, that should be the course you stay in, because that's the prereq for cyber ops and Sec Plus. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I mentioned classes are 8 weeks long. Here is the upcoming training schedule from January until our very last session in June of 2025. So you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 8 sessions remaining for you to finish 6 courses. So you could do 1 course a session. And, you know, if you need to take a session off because you are being deployed or have military you have some wiggle room, okay? You can start in 2 classes and then drop down to 1 in March. You can start with 1 class in January and then bump up to 2 in March. We have that flexibility as long as it's kind of being done before the session begins, okay? Now, what do you do if you do need to take a break? That is fine, okay? But you only get 3 sessions in a row to take that break before you're removed due to inactivity. So if you start in January and you're like, I need to take a break, you could take March, June, and August off, then you have to return in October. So you get 3 sessions to take a break. If you do not register in that 4th session that you have to return, you're dropped from the program, okay? Now, what happens after June of 2025? Hopefully you'll all be done and we don't have to worry about it, but we know that's not going to be the case. Continuation beyond these above listed sessions will depend on availability of future funding. We just don't know what our future funding is going to be. So plan to have it done by the end of July, that last session, okay? So let's say you take enough of a break, and let's say there's only 2 sessions left, where you can only take 4 classes, but you have 6 classes left. You can still participate, you just might not be able to finish the program. But again, try to be done in the next year, year and a half. Okay. Now, what is covered? We mentioned that this is a free program, a grant funded program. What does that mean? A lot of people, you know, where are the hidden costs for this? There really aren't any. There are a few situations where you might have to cover the cost if you're not doing what you need to be doing. But what's covered? So first of all, the English, the math, and the IT assessment you took to get into the program is covered by this grant. If you had to do the study paths, the training modules, if you took advantage of free tutoring through Ivy Tech, that was all covered as a part of this grant, no additional cost to you. I mentioned you get the test fees for 1 certification voucher, with the possibility of requesting 2 additional certification vouchers if funding is available. Okay. The little asterisks, and when Amber sends this recording, she will also send a PDF of this PowerPoint slide, because I know the writing may be a little small for some, as well it has some clickable links. That way you guys have it. So this will come to you too. If you are doing your testing through a center that requires any additional fees for proctoring, that kind of thing, those would not be covered. Ours is literally just for the test. Now, I have personally not heard of anybody else being charged any additional fees. That's just not something we've heard of, but we need to make sure you know your voucher is for the certification itself. Any other additional fees by that proctoring center is going to be your responsibility to pay. What else is covered? Your courses are covered. So courses with live virtual faculty instruction. So you're going to have a teacher teaching you. Again, you don't need to necessarily attend. You can watch the recordings for later viewing. Okay. I'm going to talk about this here in a second. There's cyber security support analyst that will be available to you. This is a really important email address that you will want to keep in mind. They might be able to provide some tutoring for classes if you're having issues. They provide technical support. They're the ones who develop the virtual machines and do the maintenance on the virtual machines you guys will be utilizing in classes. So they're a really great team that can be really helpful if you need to reset your password for NetLab, or something like that. Okay. And then books and materials. Most of these classes do not have books. I think there's only one class that has a book, and that's going to be ethical hacking for those in the system admin track. Everything else uses Cisco NetAcad. They use online resources. They use NDG NetLab. So it's all kind of built within the class itself, that there are no books per se for this course. But all of these materials you're going to use, these resources you're going to use, are all covered. Now, the one exception for this, there is one exception. And if you pass Linux, if you have to take Linux and you pass it, you don't have to worry about it. If you have to retake Linux, there is going to be a fee. We only pay for the code for Cisco NetAcad or NetLab. I'm not sure which one it's related to, but CWCT pays for that code the first time you take the class. If you have to retake Linux, you will have to pay. As of right now, it's only $29.95, so $30, so it's not a huge fee. But again, if you pass Linux the first time, you don't have to worry about that. But if you have to retake it, you will be responsible for paying for that code. If you want a hard copy, like I said, ethical hacking is the only one with a book, and I do not believe there is a hard copy. I believe it's only a PDF version.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. So really, anybody wanting a hard book, it's not applicable in this program. And I should be almost done. So I mentioned previously our cybersecurity support analysts. Again, their email address, CWCT support@ivytech.edu. Back up, rewind. You also get several means of support as a part of this program that's covered by the grant. That includes the cybersecurity support analysts. And I already mentioned them, that they're available for tutoring, the technical support, your virtual machine development, maintenance, that kind of thing. Their email address should also be listed in the syllabus for your class. But again, they're really, there's two big resources that we use. We use Cisco NetAcad. If you have any issues with Cisco NetAcad, typically it's your instructor that's going to assist with those. And then we have NDG NetLab. And if there's any issues with that, that's where your cybersecurity support analyst can typically assist. So there's two different pieces. There are some graduate assistants assigned to some courses that will be there for support. if needed. You all have an assigned program manager. It's either going to be myself, it's going to be Amber from P&W, or it's going to be Fatima from North Carolina, Charlotte. You all should have been either gotten communication from us or you have been provided our contact information. You will be receiving an email from your assigned program manager the Friday before classes start. So next Friday. Just as an introduction, helpful information, that kind of thing. We are there to assist you. If you have questions about the program. Now, we each kind of have our specialty focus area. So if you email one of us and we're not really responsible for that part, we will direct you to the one of us that is. Typically, if it's anything dealing with dropping or withdrawing from a class, you're going to be contacting me because I'm the one who has to do that. So, but if you have questions, issues, your instructors, which is the next piece, your instructors should probably always be kind of your first go-to. You're having issues with the class, you can't attend for some reason, you're having trouble managing your time. A lot of the times, as long as the instructors know what's going on, they are going to work with you. Okay. It's if you have fallen off the face of the earth and they haven't heard from you in 7 weeks and now you're asking for an extension, probably going to be a little less likely. Okay. Work with your instructors. These instructors, as you will find out in the instructor introductions, are great people. Okay. I mentioned previously, one of the support resources we give you is that you can attempt a course 3 times. It's not a one and done with us because again, we know life happens. Okay. And I also mentioned you can sit out for up to 3 sessions. That's another thing that we allow to help support you. We have fireside chats and career fairs, which Steve Olson is going to talk about a little bit later. We do not offer employment placement, but we try to help prepare you for the workforce by working on you with networking with different people, those kinds of things. So that's what we are able to provide, and Steve will talk about that during his part. And I think that is all for my part. I think I might have actually finished early for a change, maybe. Were there any questions, Amber, in the chat that I needed to address?
They were just asking more specifics about the voucher process,
Okay.
which you'll be going over anyway.
So really the vouchers, the thing to keep in mind, there are going to be very, very detailed instructions about the voucher process sent to you after you have passed the class. Don't worry about that process right now. It'll just gum up your brain. The easy part is that you have to pass the class, and then you are given access to a test preparation course in a program called You Certify. You have to get a certain percentage on a practice exam in there, 90%. And then once you hit the 90% on the practice exam, you request your voucher. That's it in very simple terms. But again, there will be very, very detailed instructions that are sent to you when you have passed the class. And that is when I would worry about that process.
Perfect. Yep. Thanks, Kirsty. That's basically what I told everybody in chat too. So don't panic right now about that voucher stuff. But I appreciate that everybody's thinking about it. And like I said, I recommend using it for your most expensive certification, since you only get one. You know, use it for one of those more expensive ones that are in there. All right. So we are going to actually meet some of our instructors now. So hopefully you are all excited still about the program and ready to meet your teachers. So just a reminder, next week, or the following week, we don't have any classes on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so don't log in, don't do anything on that day as far as CWCT goes, okay? But I'm going to kick it off with our A+ courses, so that's a requirement for everybody in the program, is your CompTIA A+ course. Enrique, Majid, would either of you like to go first introducing yourselves?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm ready.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Hi, How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone's doing good and ready for the new year, right? So I'm gonna be teaching the CompTIA Plus. There's a lot of content there. There's a lot of information we're gonna go through. So make sure that you attend to the class. Make sure you have a lot of questions. Make sure you read before we start the class, of course. That way you bring questions. Remember, I'm a human being here, and I'm here to help you. All right. So let me help you by you asking questions. I'm here to help you. I do understand situations, so make sure you keep communications with me. All right. So it is very important for you to communicate. I think that's the key to success. Try to communicate. If you're shy, go ahead and email me. You don't have to talk to me, right? A lot of people don't even talk to no one. So just email me. I'm a human being and I'm here to help you. Use me as a resource as well. And I hope everyone is successful and finish the whole program. Thank you.
Awesome. And then Enrique, you're teaching Monday and Wednesday evening this session, correct?
Monday, Wednesday, yes, that is correct.
Some of you may have Constance as your teacher for Monday and Wednesday. So there's two sections of it. So Enrique's got one section and Constance has the other. And I don't believe that she is here yet. No, I don't see her in here yet. But then some of you might have your course on Tuesday and Thursday evenings. And you may have Alma Scott as your instructor, and she is not able to join us tonight. She has a new grandbaby, so she is off helping take care of baby. But she is going to upload a welcome video to her class shell. She says she's going to do that by the 12th, so that Friday before the session starts. So for those of you who have Alma, you'll get a chance to meet her through her video. But then the other Tuesday and Thursday evening instructor, Professor Moseni, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, Happy New Year, everybody, and glad to have you all in here. My name is Majid Moseni, and I am the professor from Ivy Tech myself, and I've been teaching this class many times. So I'm familiar with all kind of excuses, all different type of responsibilities of everybody has, and people that they cannot get to live online or Zoom. We're familiar with all of these issues. However, I do encourage everybody to get to the course live because we do have a lot of discussion. Yes, as Chrissy said, you could take on the Zoom, you can look at the recording, and you definitely, you want to let us know that you did watch the recording. I do take that one as a participation point I added myself. But the way that we have in the conversations in the class, we discuss things together and students bring up some objects or subjects that you want to participate in that conversations. So it is good to be live. If you have 100% issues or work and you cannot come lively, I understand, but I do encourage and talk about it a lot in the first class that encourage everybody to get in here. But this is a great class. It's all fundamental on the A+, and some people already knows basics about the computers, but we go through a little bit in the extent of the different materials, hardware, software on the computer, and it is a great course, and we always see at the end a huge difference on people's knowledge assessment, that how they have evolved with this program. So it is the one of the fundamental course for your other classes. So we want to make sure that you have a good start for this course. We definitely will talk about the details in the class. If you have any questions, you have my emails. Please don't hesitate to talk to me or Chrissy or anybody else that you have contact with. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, both of you, for introducing yourselves and welcoming everybody to the A+ course. Another basic course that 2 tracks are going to take. So if you have digital forensics or the system admin track as your track, you are going to be taking Linux as one of your beginning courses. And we had Professor Jury was here earlier. He was at the airport and is about to board his plane, so he had to Zoom off. So if you have him on Mondays and Wednesday evenings, he apologizes. He didn't realize the time difference when he was traveling, but he did want to welcome everybody to his course. But I did see we have Professor Bill Warden, who is teaching on Tuesday and Thursday nights, and I'm going to ask him if he could welcome everybody on behalf of all of the Linux instructors and kind of give a little overview about the Linux course.
All right, good evening, everybody. As Amber had mentioned, my name is Bill Warden. I've been with CWCT since almost the beginning. I've had the pleasure of teaching many iterations of this course over the past few semesters. And I originally was at Ivy Tech for 20 years, and now I'm at University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. So I also have familiarity now with two of the institutions that make up the consortium as well. I've been teaching Linux as long as I can remember teaching, which is coming up on 21, 22 years now. And I think the most important thing about Linux is the fact that you don't realize how much you've already been involved with it. And it isn't a hard operating system to learn, except for the fact that most of you have familiarity with operating systems that you use every day. And Linux is not something that most of us do. So my job will be to guide you along with Yuri and who is the other instructor we have right now, Amber? Is it Bill?
Bill McGillicuddy.
Yeah, Bill McGillicuddy as well. The three of us will be guiding you between the Monday and Wednesday and Tuesday, Thursday nights. I have one of the Tuesday, Thursday nights. We'll be guiding you through the basics of Linux. For those of you who already have that experience, you will probably find that, like I said, we are covering the basics, but I challenge you to find something new you haven't learned before. And for those of you who perhaps have never had Linux, I challenge you not to be overwhelmed. It is not as difficult as people think it is. And again, it is a critical part of understanding anything in IT, including especially cybersecurity. There are many different aspects to Linux that I think most people don't realize they use every day. And it's just another tool at some point. It's just another operating system. So I think you'll get there. And I'd like to just emphasize what I've already heard some of my peers saying. Take advantage of the resources you have. Understand that the phrase that is used sometimes in education is that we are the guide on the side, if you will. This is in your hands. You have a clear path ahead of you. You have a clear way of getting through it. And we're just here to help you along that way and guide you, answer those questions that you may be looking for that you can't find in the material. And we'll just take it from there.
Awesome. Bill, we had a question about how our Linux courses no longer focus on the Red Hat, that we've transitioned back to the Linux Plus. Do you want to speak a little bit about that?
We've gotten more generalistic. Linux, Red Hat Linux is a fantastic option for learning Linux, but there were some complications with the Red Hat Academy system that we used, and those have been resolved. But as a result, we've moved on from the Red Hat system that we're using, and we have the benefit of a more experienced system, if you will, in NDG. We're much more familiar with it as IT educators. We've been using it for many years. And it's kind of a combination of Cisco's NetAcad system, along with what's known as NDG. And combined, we're using NetAcad to host the class, and then the content is coming from NDG, which was originally created, as a matter of fact, to teach us more about networking, specifically Cisco networking. So the fact that Cisco NetAcad and NDG came together to offer this Linux course is very beneficial for us. As a matter of fact, if any of you took advantage of I believe we still offer the students the opportunity to do the Linux intro course through Cisco or no, we don't?
We do not offer those training
okay.
paths anymore. No.
Okay. So this is going to be pretty much an extension of that, but that very basic course that we had before was just for students who just had no Linux at all in their background. And the good thing about the current course that we have now is some students with the Red Hat material, it was very well done, but they felt like it was kind of constrained because it was just Red Hat. And they also felt that it was a lot all at once because of the structure of the course. So I think we've addressed both of those issues with the new system. but Linux Plus is a vendor neutral certification. And the general idea to think of is this. You may think of the two operating systems you have as Windows or Apple, right? If you think about it, Linux in and of itself has literally thousands of what we call flavors or distributions, shortened to distros, of Linux that are out there. So staying general and non-vendor specific is also a strength. And the Linux Plus certification has its strength in part because of that. I've passed the Linux certification now, I think it's 4 times. The last 2 times I've done the beta exam, and it always keeps it right down the middle of the road, if you will. So that even though you might get into the industry in the future and become a Red Hat Linux specialist, you're not going to be suffering at all from taking this course. And it's just a different specialization.
Thank you so much for addressing that, Bill. If you wouldn't mind, there were some questions that popped up in chat, but I want to introduce the other instructors. If you wouldn't mind answering those, I would
can answer
appreciate
those in
it.
chat. That's fine.
Thank you so much, Bill.
No problem.
And then for those of you who are AI track, I don't know who are my AI track people in here, you will be taking Python as one of your beginning courses rather than Linux. And I have Professor Gurchin here tonight, and he is going to be teaching on Monday and Wednesday evenings. And I'm going to let him introduce himself and talk about his course.
Hi, good evening. Yeah, my name is Jijin. I'm a professor at the Purdue University Northwest. This is my first time teaching the Python course at the CWCT, but I taught the Python in my graduate course for the data visualization. And I work with Enrique, who is going to teach A+ during our summer sessions for the high school kids. And I have another colleague, Taehun, Dr. Kim, who is also my more than 10-year colleague at the same department at the Purdue Northwest. So hi Eric, Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to all. So this Python course is the entry-level course for the AI track, and the course is pretty intensive in programming wise. I don't know how many of the students have any previous programming experience, but the course is designed for the student with no programming experience. So the course has 2 different modules. For the first 4 modules are introductory, elementary of the programming, Python programming. The second half is more advanced, covering the object-oriented programming, exception handling, functional programming, and so on and so forth. For those who are new to the programming, I think it may be easier for you to start with the Python, because it's like you are painting and the blank white paper. So you are going to accept every syntax of the Python standard. However, that is also applied to me, because if you had any prior programming experience, not in Python, but more like C, C++, Java, or any kind of structure or object-oriented programming, you will find out the syntax of the Python is a little bit different from most standard language. So you'll try to add some semicolons, the commas to every function, but it's different, and you'll also be a little bit confused with the indentation and there's no open close curly bracket or those type of things in like a C type of language. So you will have some kind of adjustment period, but because you have some prior programming experience, you will find out Python is pretty easy to use and straightforward. The course has a couple of requirements, like we have 2 discussions. Every week we will have a take-home assignment, which is a programming assignment. And for the lab sessions, we will have a lab lecture activity. So I will give you some time for you to practice, but if you have trouble, I'm going to help you how to kind of finish your lab activities. So we have about 7 lab activities, and for each week, we'll have a quiz, which is offered through the Net Academy, Cisco Net Academy, and it will be auto-graded. And you also have up to 3 attempts. So the highest grade from the 3 attempts will be your grade. And after 4th week, you'll have the module exam. So we'll have 2 module exams for first 4 weeks and the later 4 weeks. So that's the basic requirement for the Python course. And yeah, I can talk with the Python student individually through the chat, or you can send me your email to my Ivy Tech email account, gjin@ivytech.edu.
Perfect. Yes, if you have any questions for Professor Jin, please put them in chat or try and connect with him through email. Thank you so much for the overview about Python. And then everybody, as long as you pass these beginning classes, your next chunk of classes, your 2 most important courses, your Security Plus and your Cyber Ops courses. And we have 2 of your Cyber Ops instructors here tonight. We've got Professor Ben Marrero and Valerie Golay are both here tonight. Those of you who have Professor Al Sanford on Monday and Wednesday evenings, he was not able to join us tonight, but he did give me his LinkedIn account, and I'm going to throw that into chat. So if you have Professor Alf and you want to connect with him, feel free to add him to your LinkedIn. Ben, Valerie, who would like to go first to talk about cyber ops?
Doesn't matter. Ladies first.
Thank you, Ben. You're always such a gentleman to me. Thank you. You look good, by the way.
So do you. Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year. Are you sitting on campus?
Yes.
Shame on you. We are not at work. So, hello. I am Valerie Golay, and I'll be teaching cyber ops for you this term. And my background is in cybersecurity, so it is right up my alley. The things you need to know about my class are communicate, communicate, communicate. I am there for you, but I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. So you have to reach out to me or speak up in class or go to a private chat in class to tell me if you're in the classroom with me. My classes are very educational, and I'll just put a little tip out there that the students who do the best are usually the students who attend class. So if you can't attend class, I highly encourage you to watch my videos because there are some, I really drill down and review so that I make sure that you know what you need to know throughout the term. Also, I like to have a lot of fun. My last class, all they did was make jokes and laugh the whole term. I was like, oh, but the last day I was like, okay, you guys gotta stop. Gonna make me cry here. But we have a lot of fun, and we'll work on a lot of labs that are really important to the learning process. So they're hands-on labs. And we have, I don't know, something like 23, is that right, Professor Benjamin? 23 chapters, 24 chapters that we cover in this course. So some of them are very short, and so we can cover 2 in a week, but some weeks we cover 3, 4, 5 chapters in 1 week. So it can get intense, and you need to be prepared to do a lot of reading outside of class. Really, really important that you read the material so you're ready when I start asking questions during class time. And also, you'll be ready to ask questions. That's even more important, to ask questions during class. And there's no dumb question. And if you're thinking the question, trust me, 10 other people in the class are thinking the same thing. So you're the one that's brave enough to bring it up. That's the difference. So bring your questions to the class so that I can help you to understand them, so that you'll be able to do well on your tests each week. And then also help you do well and understand what we're doing when we tackle our labs. And that's all I have for you tonight. I look forward to seeing you in a week and a half.
Thank you, Valerie. Professor Marrero, what would you like to add?
Well, ditto for everything she said. It's important to complete the assignments. Participation is definitely helpful and help you learn the system. But I'd like to go into a little bit more of the details on the actual work that we'll do, because I think it's really exciting. I mean, it's fun. And when you get into the labs, for instance, we're going to be doing the same thing a cybersecurity analyst or specialist would be doing. And we're talking, learning about different types of attacks, man-in-the-middle attacks, Smurf attacks, all those things that hackers do. Well, we're supposed to call them threat actors nowadays, not hackers. But you'll get to learn about all these different types of attacks, malware, ransomware, and the reason for that is so that you learn how to counter these attacks, right? So we use Net Labs. It's a virtual lab environment. You'll get in there and you'll do the labs. It's awesome. I mean, you get in there and you'll learn how they were able to get into a system, and you'll learn techniques to prevent and stop those attacks. So you get to learn what the hackers are doing, threat actors, excuse me, are doing, and you'll learn how to combat those attacks. So it's a lot of fun. The labs are exciting. You got to get them done. It'll help you learn the material. If you really get into it and do the labs, I guarantee you're going to have a lot of fun and enjoyment in doing them. But again, the commitment, the time commitment, it's been stressed many a times, starting with Chrissy, and everyone else here has said that it's going to take a lot of commitment to make sure you get all your assignments done in a timely manner. And I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll learn a lot if you do them in sequence, in order, and complete them in a timely manner. You'll learn a lot more, and then you'll be able to do better on those certifications. I actually kept in touch with one student probably a year or so ago that he was in my class, maybe longer, but he actually followed up. He took the cyber ops certification, passed it, and now he's looking. He's got a couple of jobs that he's looking at that he might be able to get into in the cybersecurity field. And believe me, that cybersecurity field, it is hot. You're not going to have any problem trying to get a position in cybersecurity if you're properly trained, and of course the certifications will help. The cybersecurity is in big demand. I don't have to tell you how many companies are getting hacked pretty much every week. So they need people, experts that know about cybersecurity, and whatever field you get into, whatever flavor you get into, whether it's analyst or incident analyst or digital forensics or something to that effect, you shouldn't have any problem as long as you know your work, learn the skills, and you become good at it. And again, the certifications will help. So I expect we're going to have a lot of fun. My class meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I hope to see everyone there, and I look forward to meeting you all and working with you.
Thank you, Professor Marrero. And so cyber ops is one of the required courses that everybody's going to take no matter their track. And the other part of cyber op, or the partner to that, is going to be your Security Plus course. And we have Professor Glenn Hernandez, who joined us tonight. I know he only has audio, so think of him like the Wizard of Oz. You're just going to hear the voice. You're not going to see the man.
No, thanks, Amber. So Glenn Hernandez, happy to be here. Coast Guard veteran, been teaching for over a year with this program. Excited every class. Every student comes in from different backgrounds, different perspectives. And I think the common thread that I've seen in the students that have successfully passed is that they had A+ and Network Plus at least experience before coming into the course, because I see a lot of difficulty with the terms sometimes, especially in the networking areas. So, but we cover the 5 domains that CompTIA has for Security Plus in the 8 weeks, and I added Zero Trust and Operational Technologies as an extra module in week 7. But it's a great starter course, and I consider it a language course because we do so many translations of all those acronyms that you'll see in cybersecurity. So I look forward to the students coming in and look forward to a great time over the next 8 weeks.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And for those of you who are on the AI track, I saw a bunch of hands and shout outs in the chat. That was lovely. A course that you're going to be taking later on in your track is your AI machine learning course. And we have Professor Taehoon Kim here tonight to talk a little bit about that, so you'll know what to expect in the future.
Hi, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody. And my name is Taehoon Kim. Yeah, Dr. Jin introduced me first. I mean, before me. And yeah, I work with him at the school. I'll be teaching the AI course here. And this is the first time working on the CWCT the class. And so I probably have some I may have some the trouble or something, but I think I can manage it. For the AI course, the one that I developed, it requires the heavy coding skill. Not experts, but you're gonna have to take the Python course as a foundation. So in this course, I'm not gonna teach how to write the Python code or something like that, but you should be able to handle that because the lab, I have 7 labs, and all 7 labs you're gonna have to write the Python code, and you have to have the good understanding of the object-oriented program. And this course we covers the knowledge of the AI, how do we develop the problem, and how do we formulate the problem for the AI, and once you formulate the problem, how are we going to search the answers? So we're gonna exploring a lot of the search problem and the reasoning and the knowledge base. And how we're gonna build the problem and how we're gonna find the solutions. So this course also including the reinforcement learning, not only machine learning or the machine learning or the deep learning, but yeah, this course is overall of the AI. So it also includes the reinforcement learning, machine learning, and deep learning. But we try to minimize the part of the data analysis part, because this course is only for the foundation of the AI. And I believe we are trying to develop another course for the machine learning itself. So I'm gonna push that to the other course. So I developed this course only for the introductory level of the AI. So it includes everything, but a lot of things. 8 weeks is kind of too short. Believe me. So you're gonna learn a lot of things. You're gonna have to read, and you're gonna have to do a lot of things. So it's a tight schedule. My course also it's the same structure with the others. So 8 weeks, the 7 modules, lecture, lab, and the quizzes, and then you're gonna have the final exam in the end. For the requirements, system requirements, I'm trying to minimize the system requirements. If you have your own computer, you can install your Python into the computer. It's not heavy, but when it comes to the machine learning or the deep learning, we need the more package on it. So Anaconda is the one. But if you don't have your the computer, your system, cannot install the Anaconda, don't worry. We can initially I built to use the Colab running by the Google. It's on the web online, or some of the lab we're gonna have to use the the Python, not the Anaconda, the Python. Then we're gonna using the NVG lab system hosted by the PNW. Okay, so don't worry about the system requirements. Everything is ready, and I'm trying to make minimize the system requirements. So don't worry about that one. And if you still have any questions, yeah, please email me, or I'm in here. But I'm gonna have to leave soon, like in 5:30. So I may not be able to answer by the chat, but you can email me, then I can answer your question. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Professor Kim. And then for those of you who are on the system admin tracks, ethical hacking is one of the later courses that you're going to take. And It's one of the more expensive certifications, so maybe save your voucher for one of those, just throwing that out there. But Professor Ford is teaching that class, and he is going to talk a little bit about that class, and I will turn it over to him.
All righty, thank you. Professor Marrero basically sold ethical hacking for you already, dealing with cybersecurity and everything. But what can I say? I mean, it's an area that is extremely hot at this point in time. The material that we have in this class is intense. The labs are fun. We have fun with the labs. I enjoy being able to work through them. I also throw in additional labs in there, mostly because I think hands-on a little bit, or at least an understanding, seeing different things helps. The more that you can see a little bit practical side of this, rather than just straight playing with the theoretical, is a good idea. But it is an intense, the lecture portion of it gets into it pretty deep, and it's actually fun. Okay, I'm a geek, I admit it. And, you know, for those of you that like getting into how things work, we'll get into that a little bit, quite a bit actually, with a bunch of the different technologies. But we've run the gauntlet, and it's a good course and going on. Yes, nothing wrong with being a geek, absolutely. And so, yeah, look forward to it. It is a good course. It really is. Have fun. And with everything preparing and getting you to this course as well, because the other thing I do want to mention, and that is because we talked about it earlier about the importance of Linux. There is absolutely no question that especially for ethical hacking, which is penetration testing, you have to have some understanding of Linux, or it's going to be a rough day. All right. Have fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then for those of you who are on the digital forensics class, one of the later classes that you're going to take is computer forensics. And we have Professor Hensley here tonight to tell us a little bit about that course. We're super excited to have him joining our CWCT team, and I'm going to turn it over to him.
All right, can you guys see me?
Yes.
All right. Hey, this is my first time teaching computer forensics for CWCT. I'm a part-time professor at Ivy Tech. Did that for the last year, but prior to that, I was a special agent with the Secret Service and did computer forensics since 2000. It's an exciting field. So this is going to be kind of like a foundational forensics. So like if you understand the fundamentals of it and how all these forensics programs work, you can pick up whatever. You can pick up NCASE, FTK, and these other programs. And I'll bring some like real world experience to it, a lot of stories and stuff. And prior to that, I was also in the National Guard. So shout out to all the Guards guys out there. I used to fly helicopters. And I got some good stories to tell and get into. But getting back to the computer forensics course, it's gonna be fun. So it's a lot of information, and definitely what I can recommend is, hey, Linux is super important. The ethical hacking is pretty good. So I was going after later in my last 7 years of my career, I was hunting transnational cyber criminals and around the world. So it's important. It's kind of a niche area for computer forensics, but it fits into a lot of the cyber ops, the Linux. So yeah, looking forward to any questions. And guys, I'm retired now, so I'm here to help you guys out. I learned, this is me giving back to the community, because the stuff that I learned throughout my career was based on standing on other people's shoulders and people that went before me. So it's now my time to step up and to help you guys up to secure our networks out there. So thank you. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. So again, students, if you have questions about any of these instructors, feel free to message them in chat or reach out through email. And Chrissy, I'm so sorry we went over into your time. So Chrissy is going to be up next. This is where you might want to log into your MyIV account if you're able to. She's going to be walking you through the platform and how to access all of your course materials for your first day of classes and how to access those Zoom videos and everything. She's just going to go over a lot of information. So sometimes it's helpful if you can click along with her so you get familiar with that platform too.
Okay. Thank you very much. I am going to leave my camera off because I'm going to be sharing a lot of screens, and so I can follow along a little bit better. So let me. I'm going to. Because we are into my time, I'm going to try to be as quickly as possible, but this is always also probably one of the most important parts, so that you know how to access your classes. So I don't want to go too fast. So we may be running a little bit late with the orientation. If you guys could just, stick with us. So I am going to discuss two big pieces of technology that you'll be using as a participant in this program. You've actually already used both of these pieces when you went through the application process, when you accessed your assessments. But I'm going to discuss more closely how they relate to your participation in the course. And even though this is a consortium of the 4 institutions, the 4 universities, the Ivy Tech system is what is actually going to be used to complete the program. It's how you did your assessments. It's how you do your courses. They'll be listed on an Ivy Tech transcript, even though they're non-credit courses. So that's why I give this presentation, because I'm the Ivy Tech program manager. So tonight we'll be looking at MyIV, which is your student portal, as well as Ivy Learn, which is the online course management system. That's how you'll access your courses, at least initially, especially for your Zoom lectures. Okay, so there are a couple different ways to get to both MyIV and Ivy Learn. The first is through the main Ivy Tech website, which is just ivytech.edu. And then in the top right corner, middle, depending on how big your screen is, you will see both the links for MyIV as well as Ivy Learn here at the top in the menu bar. Okay, you can also get to MyIV by going directly to the website, which is myiv.ivytech.edu. Hopefully you've just bookmarked this by now, because this is what you had to go into to access your assessments, Ivy Learn, that kind of thing. But I would bookmark this. That's my high recommendation. And so when you log into your MyIV account, now if I click login, mine's gonna automatically log in, but you need to make sure that you are using your Ivy Tech email address when you're logging in. That is one common problem when people have troubles logging in. They're using their personal email address. So that's my first recommendation. Make sure you're using your Ivy Tech email address. And then hopefully you have all set up your Microsoft authentication when you logged in originally to do your assessments. If you did not set that up, you will not be able to reset your password if you forgot it, and then you will have to call the help desk to get that reset. I cannot reset that for you. That goes through the Ivy Tech help desk. So make sure you've set up the Microsoft authentication, which should have happened when you set up your account, hopefully. If you do ever get locked out, because you didn't set that up, because you tried too many times, the IT help desk at Ivy Tech is 1-888-IVY line, LINE. You can see it actually down here in the lower left. That is who you need to call. You need your C number and your Ivy Tech email address when you call. You also need to let them know you're in the system as a non-credit student, because sometimes they have problems finding you guys. The other recommendation if you are going to be out of the country, you're deployed or, you know, for whatever reason, if you're going to be accessing these courses out of the country, please email me again, cduncan63@ivtech.edu, because I need to let our information security team know so that you do not get locked out due to suspicious activity because you are located outside of the United States. So if you are located outside of the country, please send me an email to let me know this so I can inform the information security team. So you're going to log in. Again, you're going to use your Ivy Tech email address. Now, your My Ivy portal is going to look slightly different than mine since I am a staff member and you are students, but the gist is the same, okay? The concepts I'm about to discuss are the same. There are essentially two big pieces you'll want to become familiar with within My Ivy for this program. You'll want to know how to access Ivy Learn, which should be here in your quick links, as well as your Ivy Tech email, which there is a link up here at the top. You'll notice here in the top left is your name, your C number, and your email address, as well as this icon to check your email. Okay, those are the two big pieces that you're gonna want to know how to access. Both of these are again, the Ivy Learn should be here in the quick links, and then I showed you where the Ivy Tech email are. Now, you're going to see a lot of other links that are not going to be applicable for you, since our program is workforce training courses and non-credit courses. Ivy Tech actually calls them skills training courses now. For example, if this happens to be on yours, it may not, this My Schedule, if you click on that, you will not see your CWCT courses. Okay, that is for 4-credit students. Your account balance, you're not going to have a balance. You're not going to have financial aid. So a lot of information may not be applicable to you. Again, really your two big pieces are your Ivy Learn and your Ivy Tech email. Okay. So if you do not see Ivy Learn in your quick links, you can add it to your favorites. So essentially, if you go over here to quick links and you go to see all, you can search for it. They're in alphabetical order. Now, there are a lot of resources on here that you would have access to being one of our students. I think LinkedIn Learning is a huge one. You have access to that. Having an Ivy Tech email address. So keep that in mind. But you will see Ivy Learn here, and you can click on the heart, and that will add it to your favorites then on your main page. Okay. Now, as of January of last year, so 2023, Ivy Tech transitioned all student email from a Gmail platform to the Outlook platform. Okay. So again, the easiest way to check your email is just by clicking on this icon, but you should be able to have the Outlook app and be able to have your Ivy Tech email go to your phone. Now, if your personal or work email also uses Outlook, you may need to add an account so that you can check like both emails. You could just Google how to do that, because that's going to vary by device, essentially. You need to be checking your Ivy Tech email on a regular basis, okay? Due to student privacy regulations, we cannot send any kind of student information to a personal email address. It has to go to your Ivy Tech email address. That is why registration was only sent to your Ivy Tech email address. That is why the confirmation was only sent to your Ivy Tech email address. If you are communicating with us, please use your Ivy Tech email address, especially instructors. Sometimes if you're emailing us from a personal account, we won't even get it because of privacy barriers that are set up through our institutions. So please be using your Ivy Tech email address and checking it on a regular basis, okay? Now, the big piece you've all been waiting for. How exactly do you complete your virtual classes? Okay. again, your classes, you'll start in Ivy Learn, essentially. So you will either need to click on Ivy Learn here through your quick links. You can go directly to it. It's just ivylearn.ivytech.edu. Okay. Or again, on the main Ivy Tech. So there's 3 different ways to get to it. Again, probably just bookmark it. Okay. Now, you will notice when you go into Ivy Learn, on your left-hand side, you will see an inbox menu item, okay? This is not the same thing as your student email. It's just another way to directly communicate with your instructors. So like if you were to click on it, essentially what you do if you do a new, you can select the course, you know, whatever it may be, and then it'll have the people associated with that course that you can then like directly email. Okay. So this is not your Ivy Tech email. Again, I'm gonna reiterate that. Okay. Now you can set up your preferences to where when you get a message in here, it goes to your Ivy Tech email. You would do that under your settings. Okay. So this is more for communicating within your courses to your instructors. You can communicate with classmates. You cannot send me an email through here because I'm not associated with any of your classes. Okay. Most of the time it's just use that Ivy Tech email, you know, if you're sending us emails. But a lot of students like this, because they don't have to look up their instructor's email address, then they could just message them through this. Now, your courses will either be listed on your dashboard. So I'm on the dashboard right now. And if you go down here, you will see a list of courses. They'll either be here, or if you click on courses here on the left, they could be listed here. Now, the important thing to note right now, you will not see your classes right now, okay? Courses do not appear in Ivy Learn until about 2 days before your first class session, okay? So I made you all a handy dandy little chart here. Okay, so right now this session, we only have classes Mondays and Wednesdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think this was mentioned before, but if it was not, Monday, January 16th is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We do, or Monday, January 15th is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We do not have classes. Our session does not start till that Tuesday, okay? So if you are in a Monday, Wednesday class, your first class session is Wednesday, January 7th. That means the class should show up on your Ivy Learn on Monday. That's 2 days before it happens, okay? If you're in a Tuesday, Thursday class, your first class session is Tuesday, January 16th. Your class should appear on Sunday, January 14th, okay? So 2 days. So if you go in there now, you're not going to see your classes, okay? Now, even when they become active the 2 days before, you might still not see them. And that is because the instructor has not published the class. There are 2 pieces, it becoming active on Ivy Learn and your instructor actually publishing the course, okay? Your instructor may not have the course published because they're not done with it yet. They're kind of finishing some things out before the session starts. That's the most common thing. But you can tell if a class is published or not. So on your dashboard, you will see published courses and you will see unpublished courses, okay? So if the course is being listed in unpublished, that means you have to wait until the class. I know a lot of you get really excited and you just want to start, okay? Just be patient, okay? Wait for the course to actually start. A lot of the stuff you're going to do, you can't even do until the course starts anyway. I'm going to mention that here in a minute. Or if you go to courses, if you go down to, they may be listed here. I thought, oh, if you click on all courses, Again, I have a lot on here. You can see if a course is published or not, because it'll say over here in the right, it'll tell you whether it's published or not. So, you know, the course may be listed and it might not be published. So again, give them until the first day of class for them to be published. Okay. So I'm going to use one of my past courses to kind of show you, hopefully it's still in here. There it is. Kind of what it looks like. Okay. So you're going to click on the class, and then this will be what it looks like when you go in. Okay. You'll see the course menu here on the left. You need to make sure you're reading the course announcements, which are also going to be displayed on the home page, as well as the announcements tab. You'll want to carefully read the syllabus by clicking on the syllabus. That is, you know, should have all the information you need to know about the class. You probably won't be using the modules tab all that much, because, as we've mentioned, you guys use a lot of outside resources, most notably Cisco NetAcad and NDG NetLab. So that's really where you're going to be doing your modules. So you may or may not have something here in the modules. Your instructor will explain on the first day how you're going to access that other stuff as well. Now, if you get an email that says, welcome to NDG NetLab, welcome to Cisco NetAcad, please set up your account. Do not do anything with those until your first day of class, please. What happens is students will try to set it up and they have not been given all of the information because it is not discussed until your first day of class, okay? Do not try to set up those accounts prior because you may mess something up, especially with that Linux. If you try to set something up and it messes something up with that code we pay for, you will then have to pay for your own code if you like link it to a wrong class. Okay, please wait until your first day of class after the lecture has gone on to follow the instructions to sign up for that stuff. Okay. And then how do you access the Zoom? That's always the big question, and what you guys all really want to know. Okay, it's really easy. You go into Ivy Learn. There's a Zoom link. Okay, you click on the Zoom link, and you're going to have 3 tabs. There's an upcoming meetings, a previous meetings, and a cloud recordings. Okay, the upcoming meetings will list all of the upcoming links for all of your future sessions. Typically your instructors set it up, you know, every Monday at this time, and then there's a link, or every Tuesday, what have you. Okay, I do not have any on here because this was a past class of mine. Okay, so obviously I'm not going to have any upcoming because I took it way back in fall of 2020. Okay, so 3 years ago. So I don't have any upcoming meetings. You will. Okay, there is a previous meetings. This will list now. Classes stay active in Ivy Learn for 90 days after the class ends. So after 90 days, these previous meetings will go away. Okay, they won't be listed anymore. Now for you, there will be a list of classes that just happened, and there will be a recording link over here under recording that you will click on to access the recording. Okay, or there may be cloud recording. So like all my instructor for this recorded everything to the cloud, so I still have access to them. But so your recording meetings you can either find with previous meetings or cloud recordings, one of those two. Okay, now what happens if on the first day, or you know, that 2 days beforehand, you don't see anything listed there? Again, please wait patiently until at least the day that classes start. But your instructor should, before, like the weekend before classes start, they should send you an email, like an intro email. It should have the Zoom link in there that you can access it. It may be in your announcements, it may be in your syllabus. So if you do not see the upcoming meetings in this upcoming meetings tab, look at those other places first. They just may not have gotten it here yet. So again, check your email, look at the syllabus, and look at the announcements. It may be in one of those 3 places for that initial meeting. Okay. So again, very easy to find. Typically when students are having trouble accessing them, it is because they have some kind of block on their security settings. They need to clear their cookies, their history. They may have a like a firewall set up. So, you know, kind of check around for that first if you're having issues. Any instructor issues with Zoom, we've pretty much worked out over the course of this program. So more than likely it's on your end. Not going to say that's always the case. We all know how technology can be. Okay. Now, if you're not seeing the Zoom link anywhere, you don't see it here, you never got an email, you don't see it in the announcements, you don't see it in the syllabus. First of all, check everywhere very carefully so that you're not emailing your instructor when it's right in front of your face. But reach out to your instructor, okay? They're going to be the person that can help you. We as program managers do not have access to the classes. I cannot provide you with a Zoom link. Your program manager cannot provide you with a Zoom link, okay? And if all else fails, let's say you didn't hear back from them, you missed the class, remember it's always recorded. You can go back and watch it. Okay. And that brings me then to another point. Your first day of class, these classes are from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central, which means the program managers are more than likely not going to be in the office at that time, because most of us leave at 5 p.m. a typical work day. So if you email us, you're not going to get a response. So if you're having any issues accessing the class, contact your instructor to see that, you know, you will be on their roster. I can tell you that for sure. I verify everybody's registration when I make the rosters. So if you're not seeing a class, or you're saying, I don't have the Zoom because I'm not in the class, if you got the confirmation that you were in the class, you're in the class. Okay. But again, email your instructor and see if you can work with them. Now, also remember, they're teaching at that time, so it may be a delayed response. You may just have to wait until the next day and watch the recording. Okay. Finally, I believe this is the last thing, and then I am done. Ivy Learn. You will also hear it called Canvas. Canvas is the actual company. It's just called Ivy Learn on the Ivy Tech side. You'll find that Ivy Tech always puts the name Ivy in all of our things. So there is a Canvas app that can be downloaded on your phone. You know, because most of your stuff is going to be done through NetAcad or NetLab, it's not going to be helpful for actually doing your assignments, but it might be helpful at, you know, looking at a course calendar and seeing when things are due, or emailing your instructor from that inbox messaging system, things like that. So, you know, I would recommend downloading it. Again, it's Canvas, CANVAS, but again, most of your stuff's going to be done through that other stuff where you're actually going to have the computer to do it. So I think that's everything for me. Amber, were there any questions I need to answer?
Nope, you are good. Thank you so much, Chrissy. Yep. If you have any questions for Chrissy, feel free to reach out in chat, though, if you didn't get it out there. So the next thing that we're going to be going over is your different tracks. So each of you were admitted to one of the tracks, either digital forensics, system admin, or AI. And the professors, the PIs that help design those tracks are going to talk about the sequence of your classes and the associated certifications. So I'm going to start off with Dr. Tu, who's going to do digital forensics, and then we'll do AI next. And then Dr. Tu, is it okay if we come back to you at the end for system admin?
Okay, maybe I can just introduce both, right?
Okay.
And then let Farina to talk about the AI part. Okay. Okay, so I got right.
Yep, we can see your screen.
Okay, great. Okay, good evening, everyone. Okay, thank you so much for attending this orientation. My name is Michael Tu from Purdue University Las Vegas. I'm a professor here and also directing the Center for Cybersecurity. I'm also the PI for this, CWCT program. I'm here just talking about the training paths, especially the digital forensic track and the system administration track, right? Okay. So I'm trying to move things around. Okay, so if you want to find more, the details about the tracks, you can always go to this CWCT site, right? So it's PNW EDU cybersecurity and CWCT, and you can search online with CWCT, and it should be able to direct you to this, site. And then you can click on this training path. So we have 3 training paths, right? Okay. So first, I would like to talk about the digital forensics track, which is, normally I'm in charge of this, okay? So for each of the track, we have 3 common course, okay? 3 common course, A+, Security Plus, and the CISC CyberOps. And then we have 3 track-specific course. In this, forensic track, we have Linux computer forensic, which is mainly about Windows forensic, and DF, digital forensic investigation. So the numbers is misleading here. I mean, this course is actually the prerequisite for this Windows forensics. Okay, so so this 3 courses is common to every track, right? So if I introduce this, now I will not introduce this again in other tracks. So the A+ course is mainly about the basic about the computers, right? So I have a course share of this class. I'm not going to talk about details, but it's mainly talking about the computer components and installation and hardware network, right? So we may have to spend 1 to 2 weeks of introduction about the networks, okay? So which will prepare you for the next course, which is CISC CyberOps. And then we will talking about the device, right? And mainly we will spend some time talking about the Windows, the setup and file system setup, right? Configuration, account, things, okay? So of course, we were talking about the security, right? A little bit about security. So on the, your computers, right? Okay, security configuration, BitLock, firewalls, all policies, all those things, okay? So this is about the A+, and so it will prepare you for the A+ certification, computer TIA. Okay, the second course is actually the Security Plus and the CISC CyberOps. So these 2 courses you can take concurrently, right? So, but we, I don't know, we have any preference or not, but I think CISC CyberOps, right? Maybe it's one we recommend you guys to take the next, maybe. Okay, I kind of like forgot about that already. So, for this CISC CyberOps, it's a course provided by from the Cisco, right? For kind of like free. So we are Cisco Academy. So it will talk, this course is very hands-on and it's supposed to have like more than 37 labs, right? And in our course, we will have select majority of those labs, but we're not going to have all of those, selected, okay? So you will do most of those labs. So 70% of the course probably will be labs. So, so mainly talk about operations. So this is security operations. I think you guys may heard about like secure op, right? Those, I forgot the name, but anyway, SOC, right? SOC. Okay. So this is like an entry level of SOC. And if you want like advanced level would be SANS, right? Okay, go to SANS. But this will prepare you for the most fundamental part. Okay, so they have like Windows set up the basic and the environment, right? Linux, Wireshark, and then social malware and the social engineering things, right? Attacks, firewall, decryption, encryption, all those things. Very, very useful, okay, for SOC. Okay, and there's another course you should be taking it concurrently. This course with more concepts, okay, less they have half of the hands-on, right? But it is more about the concepts. It's for example, it was talking about the security principles and the threats, attacks, vulnerability. This is all about the concept you have to understand. And then it was talking about the application security, wireless security, cryptographic, right? So that you can see there's lots of topics here, okay? And network and the system hardening, access control, right? Okay, and public key and private key, those things. And then we're talking about the recon, right? Scanning, basically scanning. And it's supposed to talk about like penetration testing, those process, not the real operations. Okay, the real operations should be in that CEH course. Okay, so it will prepare you for this 601, and I know 701 is coming out, but the lots of stuff is not ready at many places. So for example, the NDG, right? They are not ready. They are going to release in February. So most likely we will have a new version on probably in March session. Okay, so those are the three core course. Okay, and so then A plus course is a prerequisite for these two, right? So you must take A plus, then you can take these two course. Okay, and then we have three specific course. Linux course, you can take it together with A plus, but I'm not recommending you guys to do that. So we have gone through like a big change about Linux. Now we are doing the Linux plus. We're using Cisco, Netcat, right? Netcat and using the NDG platform. So you will have like labs and exams and quiz, and then if you want to get a certificate of completion in the future, then you may need to take an extra comprehensive exam. Okay, so that's optional. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about details. I believe in class, right? I will leave that to your class, your first class. Okay, and your instructor will talk about that the topics. So then we have this computer forensics and digital forensics. So digital forensic course is the second course. I mean, the course should take before computer forensics. So this course, we're talking about the fundamentals of forensic investigation procedures, law, regulations, and the rule of evidence, as well as basic of the forensic. So it we're talking about like file system, Windows investigation, Linux investigation, right? All those fundamentals. And it was using the free open source software is like Autopsy, right? Okay. So for this Windows forensic course, it is mainly about the Windows. So this course is where I developed by myself. So we are using our own material, but we are using FTK, which is a licensed software. So then mainly we were talking about the Windows forensics, like file system forensics, Windows registry. Then we talk about the Windows operating system. We talking about the applications, right? Okay. So many of and the internet and web browser forensic as well. So and the network forensics. So this course is mainly about the Windows forensic plus network forensics. Okay. So it will have lots of details, lots of labs, lots of hands-on. Okay, so that's about the Windows forensics track. So I'm kind of like go through very quick. And the next track is about the system administration. I don't know if Dr. Xie probably is not here, right? So he has something, so I'm going to cover that. And then after this, well, I have another PI to talk about the AI track. Okay, so as I talk about these three track share the three common cores, right? And it also has for this track, it also has Linux, because we do need this course for you to take this next course, Cloud System Administration course. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about Linux as well, the topics. Okay, you instructors will introduce you to all the topics, but anyway, we all learned Linux, right? Those are all just about the basic of Linux commands and environment and configurations, right? So cloud administration, we're also going through a very big change. Okay, so this is the new we're going to offer our own cloud admin material. So basically we the concept would be similar, and the labs would be not the same, right? But we're different environment. We're using the OpenStack, and it will be NDG. I know before we're using NDG as well. So we are going to use the they will create the instance, right? Deploy the instance and manage the instance. For example, the storage and the access, the account, right? And the people. So this is what you are going to practice in that class, okay? Cloud. So there's another popular course is ethic hacking. Okay, so this ethic hacking is mainly about the prepare you for the EC Council's CEH, right, Certified Ethical Hacker certification. And I know I noticed that people talking about this CEH practical, right? I have taken this both, get certified by both before, but I haven't been able to keep the track because I'm just keep the CISP instead. Okay, so but CEH, if you are talking about the concept ones, right? They have lots of practical question as well. So you need to know lots of tools and how to use those, right? So even though it's not asking you to do the operation, okay. So this either will talk a lot of the concepts. For example, like either we're talking about cryptographic, right? Scanning, right? Enumeration, recon, and hacking, right? Hacking into the system. We're talking about the social engineering, web-based hacking, SQL injection, wireless hacking, and wireless, right? And the process ASIC hacking. Actually, it will have the labs ask you to perform the ASIC hacking, including penetration testing in cybersecurity, right? Okay, so this is more half on the hands-on, half it's the process, okay, concept. So the ethical, the CH practical, it's a little bit challenging. I have to tell you, I have certified one time, but after that I have not be able to finish. It's take like 2 months. Usually they will give you like 2 months to finish, give you like a couple of virtual machines, and then you have to do by yourself. They will give you very little information, and then you have to apply everything you have learned in this class, right? But you have to do more. For example, you have to find out some more hacking, right? For example, how you can get into the SH, right? I forgot the names, but anyway, we not a VPN, that's I forgot about that. But anyway, so too many technology there. So I have so that's one's more very practical, and you have to you can take that, but it take a lot of time for you to finish. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty much about the tracks, these 2 tracks, right? So next would be Farina, right? Sakib. I'm going to stop myself, right? Now you may have to turn on your microphone. So Frina, are you talking? Yeah, we cannot hear you. So you may have to unmute yourself or
Audio settings.
Yeah, now you are okay. So yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
you're ready,
All
right?
right, very good.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
very
great.
strange. All right, welcome all for the orientation, and we are really excited to have this big attendance um, and very well covered the first 2 tracks on digital forensics and system administration. The third track, which is cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, I'm going to give you a little bit of introduction about the program. And I highly encourage, this is also one of the very important areas which is growing. And I'm going to introduce you to the artificial intelligence. So Dr. Chu has done a great job in explaining overall. So as you have seen, there's this set of 6 courses in which the first 3 courses among all the 3 tracks is the same, which are considered as the core courses where you understand the basics of security, A plus, Security Plus, and Cyber Ops. So no matter which track you take, you have to take these courses. And since it has been well discussed, I'm not going to go into the detail of these courses, but very specific to the set of 3 courses which you will take for the artificial intelligence tracks include a programming class which covers Python essentials, and you will learn how to use Python packages, how to use different development tools, environments for programming in Python. And then this course serves as a foundation for the other 2 courses, which are AI, artificial intelligence or machine learning and cybersecurity, and as well as the IoT security with the focus on hardware security. So you may get different flavors of IoT security. Specifically for this program, we are trying to bridge the gap between the hardware and software. So we focus on the traditional tools such as packet tracer, which you may will cover in other courses as well, along with embedded firmware. So you talk to the different levels of abstraction in your device. So it's not just opening a socket and sending some messages, but also talking to the firmware, how the device boots, what are the security concerns at different levels of abstraction, as I say. And this is a very interesting course. Again, a lot of stuff that you learn that you can apply for the job search, as well as this is a niche which the state-wise it's an area of interest. So this is a sample session which, if you go into the training paths, you may check out how you may make use of this time. Ideally, we say take no more than 2 courses per session, because there's a lot of learning and assignments. So the sample session study shows you how you can mix the core course with one of the specialized course for the track. And basically, when you take Python Essentials, you're opened up for the other 2 special courses on AI and IoT security. So it's recommended that you take the course on programming as early as possible in your program. And so this is a sample plan. You don't need to follow as is. Sometimes students also opt for 1 course per session if you're new to the program, just to know how much time you can dedicate. And Chrissy and Amber are definitely the great resources who help out in if the student is struggling. So please do not hesitate in reaching out to the instructor in case if you are not able to manage. The earlier you can catch, the better it is. All right. There are some other options, such as getting an extended time, like a week or 2 weeks extension if you're almost completed but not finished with complete criteria to pass the course. So please make sure that you are well connected with the instructor. If you have any questions, you should be proactively asking the instructor. So for this these are some timelines which are important. The sessions which will be offered in 2024. So you should be you should make sure that you have these plan and talk to your program manager in case if you are not available of and the sooner you can plan for these sessions, the better it is. Little bit about the course descriptions. So for the programming class, the objective is really that you understand the concepts of how you can code, the concepts that you learn in class. So it is very hands-on courses that you're going to take. All the courses have labs, associated labs, quizzes, assignments, and it is going to take good chunk of your time. So for the AI track, we use Python because there are a lot of libraries which are built for machine learning, NumPy, and some of the labs you will learn more on what is Python, how to code, and specifically we try to incorporate security for programming language. So you will not just learn a new language, but also how to write cybersecurity applications for that. So this is the course Python Essentials 140 that you will take in the AI track. The other two courses which are very specific to AI and IoT security are machine learning, which is 245, in which you will learn what is machine learning, what is artificial intelligence, specifically into the bins such as what is classification, what is supervised learning, what is unsupervised learning, and deep learning. So you will learn these key terms and apply the knowledge in labs. We have traditionally used AWS Oracle, and this course has a major revamp based on the feedback. And so this is a very exciting course that will be offered this year, incorporating changes and new labs. So this is something which is also, as you may have guessed, and you may hear it everyday news, what is machine learning, what is cybersecurity. So this is what we try to cater for in this particular course. So other course which is equally important is IoT and hardware security. So hardware security is a relatively newer area, which is like 20 years old, but this is a very top of the security importance, where a lot of programs, a lot of security agencies are interested into looking for security issues and countermeasures and solutions at the hardware level. So this is the objective of this course, is that if you look at the IoT device like a smartwatch, smart bulb, any microcontroller, if you are geek with some interest of having Raspberry Pis or Arduino on a board, then you may look into from the prospect of security. So we try to introduce what is an IoT, how security can affect the privacy of people, safety and security. So this is basically the objective of this course. So this course is it goes beyond software. So we look into hardware, the physical parameters. So some of the students really enjoy, because it's not just about the theory that what is hardware, but you actually end up working on the hardware platforms. You actually do stuff to break in the security and then to fixing the security bugs. So that's pretty much it for the AI track. So Amber, I'm good, but if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Perfect. Thank you, Farina. And thank you to both Farina and Dr. Tu for sharing their expertise on these different tracks and for helping to develop them. Hopefully, after hearing the sequence of classes and the courses and the certifications that are associated with them, that you are in the right track that you want, or that your career is aiming for. If you did not pick the right track, it's not too late to switch. We'd rather you switch earlier than later. So you can reach out to Chrissy if you realize that you actually wanted a different track than you initially signed up for. So we are at
some classes are full already, so we're just gonna have to look and see if it's a possibility.
Perfect. Yep. So we are at 6 o'clock. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank all of the instructors for coming as well. And hopefully you all are excited about your programs starting the week of the 17th, or 16th, sorry, the week of the 16th. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Otherwise, everybody have a wonderful evening.
Thank you all so much for coming out and spending your Friday with us. Welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.